See what it do. Thanks everyone showing me love. Thanks for rocking with me. I know. I look hideous. Man's gonna fix up and that. It's been hella busy. I work nights, so bear with me. But as soon as we get monetized, bro, baby, be looking for that every day. Haircut soon come. Promise. This one, I want to get into it because I thought this was interesting. Just I think a lot of people feel this way. I feel a lot of guys feel this way as well. Especially in America, it's crazy when it comes to marriages and divorce rates. It's crazy. And even when you get married and you have kids, that's a debate for another day. But Leonardo basically just says she believes that marriage is no longer a goal, stating that most of the married people that she knows are miserable. Any thoughts? Well, I quite agree with this one. I feel like it's shown more now because people are talking about it more now, and I feel like people are talking about relationships more now. I.e., like on YouTube, you have different people talking about relationship goals or men aren't doing this or women aren't doing this. So a lot of people are speaking about their relationships or what they feel like an ideal relationship is. And I also feel that I feel like it's always been like this, or there's always been a feeling like this. But the difference between this generation or people nowadays and our parents, our grandparents, was that they probably cared more how it looked on society or in the family. So a lot of our grandparents cheated, like the granddads cheated, have 10,000 kids or whatever, but the grandmas stayed with the our grandfathers, because they thought it was the right thing to do. They wanted to be strong for the kids, or a lot of our grandparents took part with a lot of stuff because they just felt like they had to, and then a lot of our parents kind of doing the same thing. I feel like the younger parent, like if your parents are in their late 50s, in their 50s, you know, that sort of generation, I feel like they kind of stick together, even though then you can tell they're not together, but they're together still, and they're not happy, but they're just firming it out. But I feel like if your parents are in like early 40s, mid 40s and below, they're just on the mindset like, yeah, I know my worth. I'm not putting up with this no more. But I definitely feel like I feel like people nowadays just need to take time to know each other more, because I feel like in relationships there's a lot of ups and downs, and there's a lot of times you kind of like fall out of love with people, but then you just have to think, is it worth getting back in love? And you got to take some sacrifices as well. But it all depends on the person as well, because I feel like when it comes to relationships and giving relationship advice, it's very subjective. So when people are listening to other people like Derek, I think it's Derek D Jackson or something like, he's the guy who says black men don't cheat, and he used to preach about black men don't cheat for years, and he ended up cheating on his missus. Like there's so many people that preach about relationships, but then they do the opposite of what they preach about. You can even look like at Jeremy Carl. For years, he used to preach about, or he used to take the stance on his show when guys who used to come on his show and they used to cheat, gamble, and they were like deadbeats. Only if you do your research on Jeremy Carl, he was the biggest gambler. He was the biggest cheater. He can't even see his kids. Like, it's just hypocrites. I feel like everyone's a hypocrite. Like, you should just do you, and communication is key. Just talk to your partner. Like, if you're not feeling it or whatever, I feel like before it gets to the stage where you lot are just miserable, you should try and communicate. Like, I'm feeling like this, and then just give it time. If the partner's still not taking it in, and you're still feeling that type of way, don't all mean like bounce, in it. Like, you should never be in a situation when you're not happy. And then when there's kids involved in that, that's slightly different, because obviously some people want to stay around because of the kid. because that's a big thing. Once a parent leaves, especially the statistics on when a dad leaves, it's crazy what happens. I mean, it's hard to be a part of the life, but if it can be civil, even better. But I definitely feel like you shouldn't be with someone if you're miserable, and I definitely feel like you should communicate, but communicate with your partner. Don't communicate with a family member. I don't understand that when people like call up their mum or their dad or their brother and be like, "Oh, Antonio did this to me." Like it's no one else's business. If you want to do therapy, I've never done therapy, but I feel like therapy is good, because it's a partial person to see another person's point of view, and just to get what you feel off your chest, it always feels better. And if you feel comfortable doing it with therapy, then by all means. But I don't feel you should bring your family into it, because I found as well, a lot of family members, they will talk like, for example, cool. Say you're with someone called Antonio, right? And he's busting his ass off every day, working late nights, or he's just putting in the work. But he's working in Tesco's. But he's generally trying. But then your dad might be like, ditch this guy. He works in Tesco's, da 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 da. He's not good for my daughter. Turns out he used to work in McDonald's, or he still works in one of them retail jobs now as a 50, 60-year-old man. But yet you're telling your daughter not to be with this guy. But they only see one side of it, like he's just at Tesco's. They don't know that this guy's working hard. He's trying to provide for his family. He might even have a side business. So basically what I'm trying to say is there's stuff to your relationship that other people don't see. They might just see one side of it. Like, he's just here right now. But in 10 years' time or 5 years' time, he could be there. Don't get me wrong. If he's got no ambition, no drive, no nothing, and he's just constantly there, he don't help out, he don't pay the bills, he's putting hands on you, that's a totally different story. And if he's putting hands on you, or she's putting hands on you and it's getting physical, then, if you got to talk to someone, you got to talk to someone. That's totally different. But I'm just talking about if you're generally miserable because you're arguing a lot, or he doesn't seem like he's there, or he's tired all the time, or the physicalness isn't there. That all that stuff could be worked, and all that stuff could be spoken about. But at the end of the day, I do feel like what she's saying is true. There's a lot of people that feel this way, and a lot of my generation look at our parents and be like, "Yo, you ain't happy. I'm bouncing. Like, I'm not gonna settle." Because I definitely feel like there's someone there for everybody. And you can even look at when a guy cheats on a girl, and then the girl finds out that like say for example, she'll be like, he didn't do this for me, but he's doing it for her. Why is he doing it for her? So for example, it could be like, for me, he never took out the rubbish, but for this girl, he's taking out the rubbish. And that's simply because a lot of guys, there's always a woman out there that a guy will do something that he won't do for you, if that makes sense. And I don't know what it is. It's just basically, there's someone there for everybody. And there's just something about certain women that fits. It's like a jigsaw piece. Sometimes you're with a woman and the jigsaw piece will fit, but over time it wears out and that piece don't fit anymore. And then other times you find it just fits perfectly with somebody. And at other times you find it fits, but then it doesn't fit, then it fits and then it doesn't fit. And it's all preference. But then again, it comes down to just being honest and open. If that made sense, then yeah. If it don't, I'm just rambling. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your opinions and thoughts. And yeah.